So it's not obviously apparent by the title. These are my Star Wars weekly comics. A funny thing so my comics have been stored away in a chest and up in the loft. They've been in a garage and up in the loft, divided between the two. And I haven't touched or looked at them for years. And then putting them together, just working out what I've got, putting them, into the groups, etc. It's been a bit of a surprise to think. So when I was thinking about the comics that I collected, and trying to think back which characters I liked more than others, it's been a bit of a surprise that I've got more comics than I thought of certain characters. For an example, I've got no dislike for him. I can see why he's such a good character, but I don't remember being that into Captain America. But I seem to have accumulated a few Captain America comics. The other one is Thor. Now, I don't have a great deal of them, but I got more than I remember, because reason I know Thor is because my best friend at the time, he was mad for Thor, but I wasn't keen on it. But I've accumulated a few Thor comics, more than I thought I would have. That was another surprise. I mostly collected Marvel. I got some very early on Batman and Shazam. My dad used to buy me from a comic shop, from a newsagent, etc. And I've got a few of those. But when I started actually collecting comics for myself, I tended to Marvel. I preferred the Marvel universe much more than the DC universe. But for example, now I think Superman is a great character, but I've always found him to be a bit overpowered, so I never really bothered with Superman or Superman stories. And yet, putting it together, I've got much more Superman comics than I've ever remembered collecting, so it's a bit of a surprise to me putting this together. These, though, I've got quite a few of these, but I'm pretty sure I'd never ever read a single one of these comics, and that is because this collection belonged to a friend of mine, and for whatever reason I've obviously done a deal with him, swapped him for something, or bought something off him, and maybe even gave them to me, I don't know. I've got these Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back comics, but I've also got a few other bits and pieces of Star Wars stuff that I'm a little bit surprised at. So yeah, these are my Star Wars comics. Don't know an awful lot about them. I know that I think these were obviously for the UK market, and I think they were black and white. I heard they're black and white, and the American ones for the American market is much more like the normal comics you get, the American comics, and I think they were colour, etc. But I don't know that for a fact. But these are my Star Wars comics, and I will show at the end of this, I will show the backs of the comics as well, just in case I get an interested party, or maybe I ever put a link to eBay when I actually, wherever I decide to auction them, and then I can actually put a link to show them, and maybe that might help selling them. But yeah, these are my Star Wars comics. I was going to say out as I turned each comic the issue number, but what I think I'll do is I will actually, in the video description, I'll put the issue numbers in there in case anyone wants to know the numbers, because obviously I don't have them all, some are missing, so yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So if you're interested, have a look in the video description, and the issue numbers will be in there. So now I'm just going to show the backs of the comics for anyone interested. I'm just going to turn and flip them over and show the backs. Yeah, so from here on in, it's the back of the comics now. So those were my Star Wars weekly comics, and again, if anyone who does this for a living, especially those based in the UK, wouldn't mind chiming in and possibly telling me which ones are more collectible than the others, and if I should would it be better off selling these all together, or would I be better taking would I maximise my returns by taking the ones that are more sought after out and selling them separately? Things like that, if you don't mind, it would be greatly appreciated and would really help. So thanks in advance.